Leciutko to jest.
Lubię dużo wody.
On behalf of the captain and his crew, we wish you all welcome on board MS Victoria, the Queen of the Telemark Canal.